Hey, welcome back to another video. So this is the end of the year, last video of 2023. And it's been a wonderful year nonetheless. Portfolio has done fairly well, so there's no complaining there. If you don't remember, I did an account transfer back in August, which dropped my portfolio down from 98,000 to about 1,200. My initial goal from August up until the very end of this year, December, was to break 20,000 and just shy of that at 18,000, just shy of 18,000. So nonetheless, though, it's been an extremely good year. No complaints whatsoever. But for the most part, I've added a few new positions to the portfolio, which I'm satisfied with. And just going into 2024, it's just going to be a sense of rinse and repeating. Some of the new positions that I've added were Schwab Growth ETF. I'm pretty bullish on this, mainly because it has a lot lower of a stock price compared to SPY or the S&P 500 tracker. At $83 a share, I'm getting a lot of value compared to SPY, valued at $475 a share. So I can put a lot more of my money into Schwab Growth, and it's going to perform fairly well since it tracks a lot of growth stocks in the S&P 500, and it's performed fairly well this year. Aside from ETFs, I decided that throughout this year, I've gone pretty hard on other growth stocks such as Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, just to name a few. Of course, I've added a few other positions to the portfolio, such as Berkshire Class B, Shopify, which has become very bullish in my opinion, because they decided not to fight Amazon because they know they can't when it comes to e-commerce, but they decided to join them in a lot of different, joint ventures, which is pretty cool to see. Mortgage rates are declining, which is great. So there's a lot of optimism as they officially drop for the ninth week in a row, which is huge because as they continue to drop, it's going to basically make things a lot easier for homeowners or people who want to find homes, want to be purchasing homes. Because at one point, they dropped below 7% early on in the month of December. And that is honestly amazing to see because considering that the 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate fell to an average of 6.61% according to ABC, you can only imagine how much additional money you're putting up for a mortgage if you own $1 million house as opposed to if you got like a 2.75% mortgage back in 2020, 2021. But going back into 2024, of course, I'm very heavy on Nvidia, Apple, a couple other tech stocks, and then my ETFs, which I've been continuing to add more into. I decided to double down on Amazon stock going into 2024. Right now, it's valued at around $150. So I do think that I can still get a lot of value at that stock price, given that it was in the 80s, just this past year. So according to Wedbush analysts, they sent a recent note to clients that of the internet stocks that they cover, they believe that Amazon has the most potential upside. So going into 2024, quote, they named Amazon stock a top pick in 2024. In addition to the ongoing growth of e-commerce, the Wedbush analyst said Amazon, which they describe as the largest retail media network in the world outside of China, will benefit from rapid growth of digital advertising and Prime Video monetization. So I'm a very big guy when it comes to Prime Video. I like my Prime Video. I actually prefer it over Netflix, and I'll die on that hill if I have to. But for the most part, digital advertising, we all know we're going to 2024. It's an election year. So digital advertising, I expect to spike tremendously. And there's a lot of other stocks you can invest in that deal with digital advertising and that sort of stuff. And you know which stocks I'm talking about, like Trade Desk, Google, for example. But for the most part, with where Amazon is right now, I do feel like they're in a position to have a lot of upside that what most people can even fathom. Given it's, the 150 range as a stock price, I do think they have a lot of upside to eventually break that 200 mark. I don't know if it's going to be by the end of 2024 or if it might be 2025 to 2026, but given how much it's rebounded from when it was in the 80s, considering to now in the 150s, it's almost 100% from its lows from when it completely sold off. Aside from that, Nvidia, I'm just really hoping that Nvidia splits sometime in the future. At around $500 a share, I would love to see a stock split. If you know me, I'm pretty heavy in Nvidia. I built up a nice little portfolio with that. And then on another note, Apple. So of course, Apple, it's near all-time highs. I believe its all-time high was around $197. I do think that it will more than likely break 200 going into 2024. I'm hoping, aside from that breaking $200, we need consumer spending to increase. And there's a lot of things that correlate into consumer spending. When rates drop, and people are able to work how they should, and they're making money, and they're not utilizing so much credit card debt and suffering and whatnot, people are able to spend more, which is great. We like consumer spending. It means people are spending money on things, or in a sense, fixing up their homes. And for whatever reason, whenever real estate starts to do extremely well, then we start to see the rest of the market do well. It's kind of hand in hand. So I do think that Apple will continue to thrive in 2024, given as well that they're moving operations to India. So I do think that the amount of money, time, and resources that they're basically putting up to relocate into a whole different country, I couldn't even imagine the logistics that goes into that. But in a sense, you do have to understand that they're looking out for the best interest of the shareholder, and then bottom line, their own company and their existence and their survival and their profit. So I do think that Apple is going to have a good 2024. It's kind of hard to say how fast Apple will grow. I don't think its stock price dictates an exact representation of how the company is performing. As the wise Jeff Bezos once said, he's like, the stock could sell off tremendously, but it doesn't dictate that the company is doing terribly. It's just a stock. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Going to 2024, I do wish us a great year of prospering in the stock market. Hopefully we have some really good stock picks and some really good market growth. And of course, since we're going to the election year, I expect there to be a lot of volatility. So as always, my goal right now is to work my way up back to 100,000, and I expect myself this time around, when I break that I won't do an account transfer, I promise. So I don't know when that will be, but God willing, we're going to get there eventually. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys took some form of value from this. And of course, happy trading, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care.